24 of us showed up, slipped into the dragon boat, and off we went. Never to be the same again.
You know you're sitting amongst courageous, strong warriors who've all gone through their own journey. The roots of Abreast in a boat run deep.
Carol Dale. I'm 84, and I was one of the original members of Abreast in a Boat in 1996, and I have not missed a season since. I was diagnosed while I was taking a break as an editor, so I was just 51. I was told just to be very careful. You were given some exercises in the hospital in those days, crawling your arm up the wall that was about the limit of exercise. I think you were supposed to just sit in your chair. Even knitting was thought to be not the right thing to be doing. Usually the affected arm was in grave danger of developing this lymphedema. Continued after that, volunteering with organizations that had something to do with breast cancer and awareness. And then along came a notice that on one of the committees on which I was sitting, said that this doctor at UBC was looking for, I called them guinea pigs, volunteers to join the dragon boat team to test his theory that it would not cause lymphedema. That's what Dr. Mackenzie had heard from a patient who came to see him at the Sports Medicine Center. And he said, that doesn't make any sense. So he said, I'll test it. That's what he did. At the beginning, a little timid. We were out for an hour, and I think we paddled for 8 minutes. There were lots of stops. He was very patient with us. And then once we got more relaxed, of course, all we would do was talk. You're so close together in the boat, and if you stop for a minute, you've got something to say to the gal next to you, or in front of you, or behind you, or whatever. And the hilarity starts. You're having so much fun and getting to know each other. And there was a lot of laughter about the reason we were there and what we'd been through, and we told each other our stories. And so when we were sitting around thinking of what to call our team, it came up, well, why don't we call it Abreast in a Boat? Because that's what we are, abreast in a boat. Fine, we'll do it.
When I walked into that novice meeting, what was it, a month and a half ago or something, a month ago, and they're showing us women in their 80s who are still going to be on the boats with us. That was like such inspiration.
Never turn away a novice. The novices take precedence because they're princesses for a year, but only a year.
I'm pretty excited about it. Certainly they've told us it's a lot of work, and I believe it is from what I've seen out on the water. But yeah, it's something I've been wanting to do to kind of make this into a positive experience from something that's been challenging. I was diagnosed shortly after kind of the height of COVID, and then went through the process. I stayed really active through treatment, and I really saw that being active helped me stay healthier than some of the other people I knew. And so kind of in the back of my mind, I went, okay, so when I'm ready this would be a really great way to keep that activity in my life, and as I said, have something positive and connecting with other women who've been through this. So, way to go. All right, now Betty. So follow the paddle in front of you.
So my name is Yvonne Steish, and I've been paddling with Abreast on a Boat since 2007, which makes it 17 years this season. And this year I am one of 2 coaches on the boat.
And what we're going to do is we will start with a warm-up, then we will do our seating plan and walk down to the dock, and then we'll start.
I think the whole boat is full of people that show leadership. We have a manager, we have 2 captains, we have a social coordinator, safety coordinator, outreach, communication, you name it. And I think it's all of us working together to create that kind of safe haven for newcomers. What happened was I discovered Abreast on a Boat through my work team. So we happened to be down here at a regatta, and often during regattas there's all this time between races and it gets a little boring. So you go shopping and then you go look at kiosks and information booths and things like that. And I stumbled upon the Abreast on a Boat booth. They had these old-fashioned photo albums, and in each album was a picture of a woman and a description, a very short description. I ended up reading every single one of them because it turned out those were their angels, the ones who had passed away. So I read through all of them, and then I went on and raced and promptly sort of forgot about it. 6 months later, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. I think my body knew something was going on, that my mind, the consciousness wasn't there yet and the awareness wasn't there. So then I went through all my treatments, and interesting enough that even though people were saying to me, oh, this is your team, you gotta join them. At first, I actually said, no, I don't want to do it. I would see them out there, and the reason why was I don't like pink. That was one reason. But the second reason was that I just really thought that once I was finished with the treatments, that I would be able to just close that chapter of my life and just sort of go on. And it was just like, it would be done. I think you're never really over it. You're never over that memory. And that every time you go for a mammogram, which in my case is annually, that fear comes up. Just being with other women that you can share that experience with, that was what kind of drove me to join Abreast on a Boat.
My name is Lori Geositz, and I'm going into my 2nd year. Novice no more is what they say. So I signed up and went to the new member meeting in January, and I was thrilled to get going. I said, you know what? Life's too short, and when you've come through breast cancer and the type that I had, which is a rare type, you live every day fully. I was standing at the railing just down by Science World, and a woman and her husband came up, and she had a handkerchief over her head. And she came in, and we were chatting. She says, are you on Abreast on a Boat dragon team? And I said, yes, dragon boat team. I said, yes, I am. She says, I'm just going through cancer treatments, and I've used to dragon boat, and I'd really love to dragon boat again. And she said, I am so happy to meet you. I get shivers saying this right now, that to be in the right place at the right time. And I said, when you're ready, when you're finished treatment and the dwell time is finished, you come join us.
Got the news and had to absorb it. The surgeon that I had to give my choice to gave me a copy of Dr. Susan Love's breast book because he knew that I'd like to have information. Little did he know that I couldn't absorb the information. You know, your head goes a little weird. We walked along the seawall after that appointment, and all I could do was look at women's breasts who were coming toward me. You've just been told you're going to be without one. And what do you think you're going to look like? You're not going to look like all those women that are walking towards you that are totally normal. It gets to be a little weird, kind of obsessional.
I was healthy. I was 55 years old, went for my mammogram. I'm really careful about screening, really diligent about screening. I went in for a mammogram August 18th. It was sunny, it was hot, gorgeous day. Had my mammogram on a Friday afternoon. Oh, that's done. Had an ice cream cone, nice treat. And went to the Canadiens baseball game on the Sunday, and Monday I was getting the call back.
I had actually been doing mammograms. My mom had cancer, so since I was like early 30s, and I was used to the whole going in, stressed out, recalls, okay, it's nothing, and so it caught me off guard when it finally wasn't a nothing.
Well done, Betty. My first mammogram after my treatments, fine. I got called back 2 days later, and they said, oh, we need to come in again and do a bit more testing. My heart just dropped. Even now, I can feel it in my chest, what it felt like.
While I'm happy to be past it, there still are those niggling worries in my head and all of that come up. So
They can't say to you, you have a long life ahead of you. They don't know enough about it yet.
And that's kind of what it is. It affects the family, it affects everything that goes into your, your existence, everything in your life. It does. Where it becomes difficult is loss and grief. When you have a recurrence or when you have a loss, it's shared, and it's easier when it's shared.
That's why we're here. That's why we just keep it going. Until we end breast cancer, we need each other.
We were the only breast cancer team, of course.
It's a great sisterhood locally, but it's also an incredible sisterhood internationally. Also, every 4 years that there is this international regatta in different countries around the world, and you go there and you're with 4,000, 5,000 other women all dressed in pink and variations of pink. But it is like just seeing that sea of women all together and, not just surviving but thriving.
If Don hadn't come up with that idea, none of it would have happened. I was at a regatta in Australia about 15 years ago, and the man who was standing behind him just tapped him on the shoulder and said, "You're Dr. Mackenzie. Thank you for giving me back my wife."
You really are a sisterhood, and we formed such a connection, such a bond.
the idea of having that community around certainly is something that will be a good thing in my life.
I get the fun and the laughter and the support and the comfort. It changes your life.
It's a vibration and energy. Really, I couldn't think of a better team to be on.